Your podcast, episode 20. Today is got it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the GamersGrove podcast, episode 20. Today is July 1st, 2018. We are your hosts, Will, Austin, and Brady.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We are a video game news podcast. We just kind of talk about things that are going on week by week. We also try to cover the more business side of things and let you guys know that how it would affect you. And we try to keep it newbie friendly. Maybe if you're just starting to get into video games, you want to know more about the industry side of things. That's what we try to do. So welcome, if that sounds like anything you're interested in. Before we get into any of that, we're going to talk about games we played this week. So, Austin, why don't you start us off? Hi.
Yeah, sure. So this week, I've been playing a lot of Westworld's mobile app. The one that currently has a lawsuit around it.
Yeah, how's
You know
that?
the
Shelter
one.
knockoff.
Yeah, Fallout Shelter knockoff. I really am enjoying it because I'm a Westworld fan. And I liked Fallout Shelter. And this is basically the same thing, but in the Westworld universe. So can't really complain. It's pretty much
Solid.
identical, which is hence the lawsuit. But yeah, besides that, I've been playing Homesick, which I picked up from the Steam sale. It's exploration kind of puzzle game.
All right.
Yeah,
What
I haven't
is-
gotten very far in it. It's kind of hard.
Is it like a walking simulator?
Yeah.
type?
No, I guess you walk around in it, but I've gotten maybe like 100 feet in the last couple hours I've played.
Oh wow.
Oh, dang.
So it's more puzzly, I'd say.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
also just an idiot, so that could be
Oh,
why. But...
Oh, I know this game. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good.
That's kind of my problem with puzzle games, too. It's dumb. All right, Brady, what you got for us?
I haven't played much. Just on that RuneScape grind still. Pop in every once in a while. That's pretty much it. Slow week.
What are you doing in the
what are you
Scape
doing?
these days?
Yeah.
Still Will's question.
Go back and forth between like wood cutting and fishing. I
Dude,
don't know.
fishing sucks. I
Yeah.
hate fishing.
That's why I go back
now
and
that
forth.
I'm done with. Mhm.
I never got a 99 in RuneScape, and that was gonna be my skill. I was gonna get 99 in.
Don't, dude.
I
it sucks.
never did it.
If you ever go back,
Yeah.
pick something else. It's awful.
Well,
all right.
initially it was a lot of money making, and then that became more
Yeah.
wood cutting. But
Yeah.
anyways,
it's not worth it.
No.
Anyways, I played it. I actually just finished playing it before this podcast. I was playing a game called Deceit. It is it's like a first person kind of horror game, I guess. It's like a social game, I would call it. Kind of like Trouble in Terrorist Town, I guess, if you guys know that. But basically, the gist of it is there are 6 of you. You're in a location. It's either like a mansion or a forest, and you have to complete some objectives and escape. But 2 of the 6 players are what's called infected, and they basically have to kill everybody before they can escape. And so there's a whole lot of but like they're with the group, so it's a lot of like finger pointing and like trying to do what you need to do as the infected, and not get caught, and maybe try to confuse the team into thinking somebody else is the bad guy. It's very fun. I will say though, it's the kind of game. It's not very fun to play if you're playing with random people. You need like a good group, like just a group of friends or just people to play this. It's not at all like when we first started playing it. The first like 30 minutes, we were just playing with random people. It was me and Rebecca, and it honestly was pretty lousy. It wasn't fun because like
how come? What kind of leads to that?
Just a mix of like people not listening, people not talking. I mean, like that's honestly that seems like such a minor thing, but like this is a game you really do like you need to talk. And, like that's what makes it fun. And typing out stuff like just kind of takes too long. Things kind of happen in the heat of the moment. So if you don't have people that are willing to like talk and use their microphones, and that almost defeats the purpose of the game. So a lot of stuff like that adds up, and it makes it not fun. But we did stumble upon a group of like 3 dudes who were pretty chatty and fun to play with. So we just ended up grouping up with them and played for the next 2 hours. And it's a really fun game, and it's free right now on Steam. I think it's free forever. So anybody can pick it up at any time and try it out.
Yeah, I just downloaded it today, so I'll be joining you on it.
Right on. Yeah, well, I'll definitely be playing some more of it. I was enjoying it quite a bit. All right, well, that covers the stuff we've been doing. So let's jump right on over into the news. The first thing on the list is Fallout 76. Bethesda's having some rough times lately. They're just kind of beefing with everybody. Fallout 76 is not going to have cross-platform because of Sony. Basically, what it is similar to the Fortnite whole fiasco with Sony. Sony doesn't want to have cross-platform playing with Xbox in any of these games that are willing to try it. And so now, because of Sony's stubbornness, Fallout 76 just isn't going to have it, I guess.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a weird stance. I feel like it doesn't fully add up. Like, I can't put all the blame on Sony for this one, because I feel like Bethesda's either there's something I'm missing, or Bethesda's throwing a tantrum and saying like, well, since this one group can't have it, nobody can have it. You know?
Yeah. Which,
it's tell me more.
Yeah, fuck that. That's stupid.
I don't know. I think it's a thing of cross-platform, specifically between consoles, is what matters the most. This is like a theory, but if they could just say screw Sony and not have cross-platform on PlayStation, but release it on there still, and just have it between Xbox and PC and whatever else it comes out on. But I mean, they're choosing not to do that. So I think it has to do with not like exclusivity or anything, but just having like both of the consoles merged together to be able to play together, and not so much of PC and the consoles together. And
yeah, it's kind of strange because to reference to the Fortnite thing, I'm pretty sure Sony and Xbox players can play together, or PlayStation and Xbox players, I think, because the cross-platform scandal around Fortnite was for people who had played on a PlayStation 4, played Fortnite on a PlayStation 4, couldn't play it on the Switch.
Right.
Like, couldn't log into the same account or something.
Mm-hmm.
But so, like, I'm assuming, I could be wrong about this, but I'm assuming that PlayStation 4 players could play with Xbox players for Fortnite. So why are they, for Fallout, saying no? Because like you said, I don't think it really PC is like what they're considering. This is more of a console thing.
I think so too.
I don't know. I honestly, I hate to say it, but I feel like this kind of comes down to Sony's just really old timey and they think like, if we don't allow crossplay, then everybody's just going to use our platform instead.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh yeah, totally.
But
you see it time and time again. Sony is usually pretty late to adopt these things, or show some wiggle room on it.
Yeah, they're a very old timey company, and they're very stubborn. So yeah, they're kind of, cross-platform is quickly becoming the thing, and Sony's not having it.
Yeah,
it's not yet.
I mean, they said that they're looking at possibilities, and they're confident that they'll get to a solution, but I don't know what that is at this point, besides letting it happen between everything.
Besides just giving it to everyone.
What more is there to look into? 'Cause I remember, we'll find a solution that makes both us and the community happy. It's like, you don't want crossplay, they do, so what's the solution? I think they're gonna plug their ears and pretend that everything's fine and be like, no, our community's so happy right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they'll do the same thing, but when it comes down to it, I feel like you have most friends like on the platform you play. That's usually the reason why you get something most of the time. I mean, like I don't really have many any at all friends that play on console right now.
exclusive.
Yeah, they're all usually PC. At the time when I did play console, I bought a PlayStation because all my friends had a PlayStation. It's like that's just how it is. And so I feel like when you're younger and like that, usually your friends influence what you get, and so you just get whatever they have, and so you just play with them on that console, and that's really it.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you, but this is the first time that a thing like this has affected me, because ever since back in college, I met Josh. He only has a PlayStation
It's
4,
true.
and for a lot of he doesn't have a PC. Just for anything like having like a decent PC is expensive, and for most general people, it's just easier to buy a console. He's not wrong in that. But so this is like a game that him and I both would have liked. Like, this is a game we're both probably gonna get.
Yeah.
And we won't be able to play together now.
That's a good point. Fair point.
For that reason. Like I do, like, I'm not saying everybody out there's like that. Like, we're probably still in the minority. Like you said, most people friends who play games like have the same stuff and same console so they can play together. But there are those rare cases where you might meet somebody, find out they play games and they're on a different console.
Yeah.
And that sucks. It's not the end of the world, but it is a bummer.
And I wonder what, like, in the back end, like, what they have to do to allow something like that. Like, I wonder if it's like, is it like a licensing or like a like, what is it? Like, is it just kind of like, one line of code or one, like, flip of a switch kind of thing to like
to
enable it?
Cross-play?
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, what, like, I don't, it's like, wonder what legalities are stopping, the developers and publishers from just allowing it anyways and seeing like what happens, kind of thing.
You mean Bethesda allowing crossplay and just leaving Sony out of the fold?
Let's say let's say they allow crossplay in the, like, without telling Sony for the PlayStation. Like, like, what is restricting, is it like, is it something on Sony's end, or is it something on Bethesda's end where they have to change something to allow it?
I mean,
I imagine that wouldn't be a legal thing. If
No, that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm
Okay.
asking, if it's like a licensing thing, or if it's like, like, what is it specifically like restricting that? Or is it just like a consent thing?
I think it's honestly just that. I don't like. I mean, I don't know anything about this, so I'm very well maybe wrong, but
Yeah,
I don't imagine it's all super too complicated to do. I think it is just like a, hey, Sony, we want to enable crossplay between you and other consoles.
Yeah.
Are you cool with this? And they go, no.
Yeah. And you're like, okay. That's
All
the end of that.
Hey, never mind.
I will say, though, I don't think, like, Sony has been stupidly stubborn about this stuff lately, but they aren't. I think Bethesda is really playing up the, we can't do this because of Sony.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. Like, that's, I don't, they're really playing into that angle, and it's working especially because Sony was already kind of in the negative spotlight. So, but, everybody's favorite company, Bethesda, being like, we can't do it now. It's all Sony's fault. Everybody's super mad, but like, they could.
Yeah.
They could just exclude Sony, but
I
now
feel like
they're being like, no, we can't.
I feel like it makes their life easier if Sony agrees to it, which is
would.
why they're kind of putting pressure on Sony, putting it out to the public that, hey, Sony's not cool with this, so we're probably not going to do it, guys. Because then everyone's going to look at Sony and be like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
Look what you did with the Switch. Come on.
Yeah. I think the whole that they're acting like, like, even like in this article I'm looking at, it says Bethesda would love to enable crossplay.
Yeah.
Do it
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
Like, Sony's not stopping you. You just won't be able to have it for Sony, but there's still a bunch of other consoles out there that you could do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe it's the mentality of like, have it all or don't have it at all. But,
yeah, I think that's what it goes back to. I think it's more like staying face with Sony and not, going off and doing the the cross-platform thing, even though they blatantly said they aren't interested in that, because that could possibly cut out future, business between Sony and Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that is true. It could just be a business move.
Yeah, but it's like,
But they called him out in public. Like that's already a bad. If it's a business relationship,
well,
like, that's the best thing to do.
that's a very like passive way to call someone out. You know what I
That's
mean? Like,
petty though.
Yeah.
It's super petty. Like
business is petty.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
But it's so like beneficial to both people, like both Bethesda and Sony, to just allow whatever. It's like Sony's gonna make a lot of money, and so is Bethesda. Like I don't know.
It's Sony like,
it's so
no,
weird.
if we don't allow crossplay, everyone's gonna buy a PlayStation.
Yeah.
But if we allow crossplay,
honestly
they're gonna
think
buy an Xbox or
Sony genuinely thinks like that. Like they're that old school of like, we're not gonna allow it so that people will buy it for our console or will use our console. And that's like their line of thinking, and that's dumb and just doesn't make sense. But I think they honestly think like that.
Yeah, it makes sense why they have so many exclusives still too. Nobody buys a console for an exclusive, as far as I'm aware.
Well,
as far as I'm aware,
I do.
You do? Oh, okay.
That's the only reason I have the PS4, because like I play like, well, I don't want to pay for online, so I don't like, I wouldn't ever use it for any of that. I hate using a controller, so I wouldn't play for that. But like, there's some good exclusive games out there that I want to experience, so I get the PS4 for that.
And if a game comes out on Xbox, it's usually for PC too. So we already have that. So it's like you might as well buy a PS4 so you get those ones.
I will say though, like I think I am like, not a lot of people do that. You are right. Like not people are just gonna throw $400 at like the air just so that they maybe like will play one game a year on the system.
Right. Just want to throw that out there. There's some good emulators out there you might want to look at.
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, I mean, honestly,
the true
you're right.
experience, though.
Don't try and sway me off it, man. But you're right. You're totally right. Okay, moving on. Some more Bethesda stuff. Oh no, shoot. There's one thing I want to mention first that I totally accidentally skipped over. Summer Games Done Quick just concluded last Saturday, yesterday. God, days are confusing. But so what Summer Games Done Quick is? It's a week-long charity live stream that takes place in like Minnesota or something, where essentially a bunch of people come out and they speed through video games as fast as possible. And that's kind of the gist of it. It's not like people just like, these are people who play these games over and over for years. So like they could beat these games in like 30 minutes, a game that would normally like say take 8 hours, like they're done in 30 minutes.
And it's some games.
Some
are pretty long.
All of them. Yeah. Some are still very long. But it's a very cool thing to watch. There's a whole big ordeal. Lots of companies get in on this. And I think they do the same charity every year, but all the money that goes towards it goes to Doctors Without Borders, and this year they raised $2.1 million for that. So it's a really cool thing. Like people are always, I guess, like the uninformed media tends to really bash like video games are violent and induce bad behavior and stuff, but like there's tons like video games, like streamers even, or just these big organizations, like there's tons of charity type things around video games that are always going on. So it's super cool to see like this happen. And I don't feel like this is really getting a lot of attention considering what they did, but it's a really awesome thing that happens I think actually twice a year, because they do in the winter as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really awesome. It's very fun to watch. These people just completely break the games that you know and love. I just wanted to mention that real quick because it's a really awesome charity event that goes on twice a year. And it's fun to watch. All right. So back to the other news. More about Bethesda and their Warner Brothers lawsuit that we talked about last week. Warner Brothers did respond, and they called they called it a baseless accusation that is completely unsubstantiated. Jesus. So basically, they're just in the denial zone right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is something me and Brady kind of went back and forth on of like, are they just going to be like, yeah, okay, you caught us and like kind of settle, or are they going to be stubborn and fight it out? It seems like they're going to fight it out. I don't know how they're going to prove that from their perspective, like that it's not a copy. If Warner Brothers didn't know, that's one thing, you know, and that was kind of my first thought. Maybe they just didn't realize.
Yeah, but it's innocent until proven guilty is what is going to happen. So it's more of Bethesda proving that they did steal it, and not more of Warner Brothers proving that they didn't.
And I think their biggest claim right now is that they said that they had the same bugs in the initial versions.
Yeah, well, that's like
as
dead
the
giveaway.
Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
Which
that's a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, like, that's not enough to base a whole court case off of.
You can't. I mean, yeah, but it's a huge start. Like, I feel honestly, they're like 70% of the way there. You know, with that. Like,
yeah.
Now, especially now, like doing QA work and seeing like how, you know, bugs can happen for just about everything, and things will break in every sort of way that you would never think of. So for two separate developers to make a game that happens to be similar and get the exact same bug, there's no way. Like, either it's the world's craziest coincidence or they stole it. Like, but you're right. It is an innocent until proven guilty thing. But like, I don't really know how court cases go, but I imagine eventually, if this draws on long enough, can't they just be like, okay, show us the code? Like, you have to bring the code.
Yeah.
And then at that point, like,
it'll be public and so it says so in this games industry article, it says that this is Warner Brothers speaking, saying Warner Brothers has been assured by the game developer Behavior Interactive that Bethesda's allegations are untrue and that none of Bethesda's codes was used in the Westworld game.
So they just wash their hands of the whole thing, basically.
Yeah, it's like,
it's
okay.
Not our fault. It's
yeah, like they could just say like, nah, like we didn't use their code. So they're like, okay, like, you know, it's like maybe there should be, you know, some internal investigation or something, or like they'll figure it out before they could be like, okay, we did, sorry, instead of like Bethesda being like, we want, you know, $500 million because you stole our code, which just happened with ZeniMax, their parent company, and I think like Oculus or something. So they better watch out.
Yeah, Warner Brothers is like right now being the parent who has the really crappy kid but like refuses to believe their kid would do anything wrong. Like, oh, like they just punched this guy in the face and the kid go, no, I didn't. It's like, nope, see, he didn't do it. Like, come on, Warner Brothers. Like, I think that should be the right. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's always more going on than, you know, it's more complicated than what we think. But like, do some internal investigation, you know, look at the code yourself. Maybe ask Bethesda, like, hey, can we see your code so we can compare and like figure it out? Don't just like take their word for it because like you hired them.
Well, that would put them at fault, though. They'd have to admit it after that. Right now, it sounds like they're pleading ignorance, and that's better for their case. I'm sure they have a board of attorneys telling them to not do exactly that.
I'm sure you're right.
But
you're probably right. But like, I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, if they were to just be like, you're right, these guys we hired suck and copied you, versus no, we totally didn't do it, and then like months later is like, oh, looks like you did. Like, I feel like that would be the worst outcome, because like Warner Brothers could spin this in a way that they're not at fault, you know, like even like with their claim, like, oh, the developers told us that it's not. So they could be like, it's the developers, like they stole it, we had no idea, you know, sue them, whatever.
But I think it's, since it is their IP, it does in a way like fall back to that, because of like how because they're not just suing for the, you know, copyright, or I don't know what exactly it is, but it's like trade secrets and other things. So they may still, I think, have to take some blame for it.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that's right. It's a mix of the lawsuit is copyright infringement and
yeah,
whatever, like trading.
yeah,
There's
industry.
like an
Insider
actual
trade-
word for
insider
insider
secret
trading. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah. Thank
Is it
you.
insider
Not
trading?
insider
Or?
trading. It's like
Yeah, I
sharing
think
secrets.
That's like stock.
Yeah, that's stock stuff.
Hang on,
I
let's
feel like that's the
see.
word they use.
It's like sharing trade secrets, basically.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think whatever you want to chalk that up as.
Whatever the term for stealing one company's assets and using them at another company is
Yeah,
what
that.
it's used for.
Yeah, but wait. This is okay. This is a little off topic. Apparently,
Yeah.
TMZ is the first people that reported on this.
Wow.
All right.
Well, okay. Anyways,
TMZ's on their game.
yeah,
It does feel very TMZ to me, though.
yeah,
The whole thing. This whole
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That's the fun part about the games industry is like there's a weird amount of like pettiness and like just crap that goes on in the industry. Like
yeah.
lawsuits happen all the time.
hmm
It's I guess passive aggressive, geeky guys would rather just sue each other than like hash it out.
Yeah. It's like hash out in a video game.
Yeah, dude.
1v1 me, dude.
Oh god. All right, well, that's there's not much more to say. We just wanted to give you Warner Brothers side of things. I'm actually pretty interested in this whole lawsuit, so we'll keep updating you as more information gets revealed. But for now, that's really all there is to say. Next up on our list, Valve has said that they're going to release a new tool to replace Steam Spy. What Steam Spy is, if you're not aware, we have talked about it before, but Steam Spy is basically a data tracking site. It takes information from Steam users, and that information goes back to Steam Spy and says, like, this person played Skyrim for 3 hours in the last week. And it takes all that information from all the users to give you a basic layout of what's being played and by how many on Steam.
Yeah.
It's not super accurate. There's a lot of information that they can't access, and Valve did just kind of make that even trickier. So it's even less accurate, but you can get a rough idea of what's going on. But yeah, now Valve, I guess, is developing something to kind of, I don't know if this is like done in retaliation, but maybe they just wanted to have their own in-house type of software. I'm honestly kind of shocked that they never had something like this before. This is like very vital, just from a business standpoint. I mean, they don't make all
it's really
these games.
valuable.
Yeah. Granted, they are just like the retailer. They're not necessarily the one making all these games, but it would still be good information to have.
Yeah. And I think it's the reason why it's not like completely public though is because of like they're not a public company, I don't think. So they don't have to release it. And it might okay, yeah, they're not. So it might like be something with like I guess if they have any investors or they just don't want the information public in terms of like, because it could show like how much they're making because of the royalties and all that, and that could have something to do with another, or why they don't have it like completely public.
That's true.
So I don't know. I think it's really weird that they haven't had something like this to the public, because behind the scenes I'm sure they know all the stats, but they're just not telling people, publishers and developers the specifics.
Yeah, they have all the information for themselves, but now this that's a good thing to mention. This isn't like a public tool that they're releasing. It's for developers.
Yeah.
They also haven't really explicitly said what it is. They just said they'll soon be quote, opening up the data pipeline to deliver measurements more reliable than Steam Spy.
Yeah. This is all information that came from the White Knights Conference for Video Games. Terrible name, by the way. But yeah,
Russia, man.
they had a big conference there. I assume like they just gave a big presentation about this, like the data tracking and whatever this tool is. So the people who are there probably know more than us, but we will, within the next few months, probably learn the nitty gritty of this tool. It is a great thing for developers, honestly, to have actually super accurate, like, I assume, like instantly readily available information. That's great for a game. They'll be able to see exactly how many people are playing the game at any time. That could, that kind of information could really help them with all sorts of things, going forward. But something I was worried about was that this would this would kill Steam Spy, but that's not totally the case, considering Steam Spy is a public thing. This assumedly will not be, though. I do wonder, like, I guess to prove you're a developer, like, how do you think it'd be like this? You have to have a game on Steam, because a lot of people, like, that's not hard to do. I could get a game on Steam right now if I wanted.
But I think in the article it only says publishers, so it may not even be for developers.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. I misread that.
Yeah, so it says Valve will soon make data and features similar to Steam Spy's available to publishers. So this could mean if you're like a big, you're an indie guy and you get some bigger company to publish your game, they may not give you those stats, or it may, you may have to get it through someone. You can't see a real time kind of thing. So you might have to still go through something like Steam Spy to get, at least semi-accurate information.
Right. Well, that kind of like,
yeah,
that completely changes my perspective on it, because that doesn't do anything for all the indie developers out there, the ones who don't, get scooped up by any publisher.
Yeah, if that's the case.
They'd still be relying on Steam Spy, right?
If they publish themselves, though, then technically they're the publishers, so they get, the information.
Does that count, though? Like,
I don't see why it wouldn't.
Would Valve be cool with that? If you're like, I put this game out myself, so I'm the publisher, give me the information.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense.
Because the publisher's really the only one that needs that information, right?
Right.
The developer doesn't necessarily need that information.
Yeah,
they just need to show it to the publisher. But if the publisher can just go get it themselves, the developer doesn't need to give it to them.
Well, I think it still makes sense for a developer to have it for like varying reasons of like player count and mainly player count and copies sold. Specifically, like if you have a game that only sold like 10 copies or whatever, like it's like, okay, I'm not going to spend that much more time updating the game. Or if you sold a game that has 10,000 copies and a lot of concurrent players, it's like, and let's say there's like microtransactions in the game or something, it's like, okay, I want to update this or do that because there's a lot more people. Or maybe you could see, they didn't say how specific it could be, but it could be something like maybe there's a short amount of playtime on the game, so it's like, okay, what can I do to increase people's playtime per day? Or like it could be smaller things like that could still affect what the developer could do with the game.
You're right, but I mean, like, yeah, you're right. But I mean, that's also like the publisher's job too.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was
the
going to
publisher
ask
would be like the one to tell the developer, like, hey, like you've got this many people,
Yeah.
So it'd be worth your time to keep updating it, or to like maybe cut it off and start working on something new.
Yeah, I mean that's more of like
but either way,
if you
like,
self-publish.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That is true. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I'm just honestly, I was worried that we were going to see the death of Steam Spy. I'm glad that even though they may be the more inaccurate fella, that he still has some life in him to give.
Yeah,
because I like Steam Spy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is Russian, and he was actually at the conference. So
yes, he was there. I think he was the one who actually posted like the first article.
Yeah, he was posting he posts slides.
He did tweet about it.
And it's definitely recommend taking a look. There's some interesting things that they say in the slides that aren't necessarily off topic, but it's almost like they're trying to sell the platform to developers to put their game on. So there's some interesting things. And they also something that's interesting is they say how good the platform is for bringing mobile games to PC. Like they have a good business model and everything for that. So, and it has been a thing recently where a lot of mobile games are coming to PC.
Yeah, that is true.
We should mention too, Sergey. I'm not even gonna try and say his last name. Galinki. Yeah, I don't know. He tweeted about this after seeing the conference and said he's excited to see what they come out with. So
yeah, I
thought that was kind of interesting.
He's like, we're talking about like worrying about this may kill Steam Spy, but he's very excited about this. I'm sure, like,
according to his Twitter feed.
According to his Twitter, maybe he's just keeping face, but like, I'm sure, like, a very technical person like him who's created this like data tracking software would be excited to see like what other type of what new tech for that specifically, what's being made. I'm sure it's exciting. He could learn a thing or two from them, maybe. I'm sure he has friends in Valve, so he could probably find out some insider deets.
Yeah, and I don't think this is his full-time job either, so it's not like he's gonna be hurting or money wise, like he's gonna be out of a job. I'm pretty sure he has another job.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going through his Twitter. I definitely think he has another job.
All right, well, that's good.
Because I think a lot of the money for Steam Spy that went to server cost, like, I'm sure it's pretty pricey for something that big.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, he probably does do something else on the side. Either way,
yeah,
I'm glad he still got room to work with this.
Yep.
All right. Next up on our list, my something I'm most excited about right now, that I just found out literally minutes before we started the podcast. Amazon Italy, the notorious leakers of video games, have leaked more video games. They listed on their market Bloodborne 2, Sunset Overdrive 2, and Splinter Cell. The Splinter Cell one isn't necessarily new, right? Because I remember that got leaked as part of the Walmart as well.
Yeah, yep.
However, Bloodborne 2, a From Software game, it's the more fast-paced Dark Souls type of game, and Sunset Overdrive, a game developed by Insomniac. Those caught me by surprise, especially considering both of those companies are making games right now, full time, like they're full production. From Software is working on Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, and Insomniac's working on the new Spider-Man game.
But, I mean, to be fair, Spider-Man's like pretty much done though. It's coming out here soon.
Yeah.
But
also, I'm pretty sure we heard something about Sunset Overdrive 2. I could have swore like 2 weeks ago something was leaked. Am I wrong? Am I crazy?
Well, there was a lot of people compared Rage 2 to Sunset Overdrive, saying it looks like it's copying it.
No, I saw an article out there talking about it being possibly developed or something like that.
Yeah,
I wish I could find it.
That's I found it right here on Forbes. Although I can't go on Forbes because of ad block, but it says some rumors have been shot down already about they're talking about Sunset Overdrive 2. So there must have been
rumors going around.
Yeah, rumors saying that it was in development.
Well,
here's back October of last year saying Insomniac Games is looking for a publisher for Sunset Overdrive 2.
Oh wow! So there's been a long trail.
Yeah.
Breadcrumbs.
Yeah. Well, it was a very popular game, so I wouldn't be surprised that they're making another one. But here's the thing that's weird. I know, like, when Amazon puts things out that, like, when they leak crap, I guess, they put placeholder dates. But I'm trying. I don't understand the timeline here because, like we said, both From Software and Insomniac are working full time on games right now, and yeah, those games are almost out. But in this day and age, with the technology we have, games on average take about 3 years to make from nothing to a fully shipped game. and you generally don't announce a game unless you're CD Projekt Red. You generally don't announce a game until like, you know, unless like it's coming out within the year or within the next year, or Bethesda, right? God. Up until last E3, it was standard to
true.
Announce a game that's going to be coming out within a year from the announcement.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that this is just a leak, but I can't like see this game, either of these games, like realistically coming out anytime soon. Like if it is a true leak, this could be a long way off.
Yeah,
and if that's the case, why did Amazon Italy have this information? Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of weird things about it that I don't fully get.
Yeah, the placeholder date is for December 31st of 2019. But in context, the placeholder date for Cyberpunk is the end of this year. So I take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place.
The placeholders don't really mean too much.
Yeah. But then Insomniac, someone tweeted at Insomniac Games saying, "Hey, Insomniac Games, Amazon Italy leaked a listing for Sunset Overdrive 2. Did you guys forget to show us something in E3?" And they actually responded saying, "I wouldn't trust it. Amazon Italy is no Walmart Canada."
Yeah.
So, you know.
Got him.
And
they're taking it well.
Yeah. And I think in the article, it says, it says, Amazon Italy also leaked a Fortnite PS4 bundle, but it was previously leaked by PlayStation Italy. And so it's unclear why there's all these leaks on Italian-based websites.
Don't trust Italy with your video games, dude.
Yeah, right.
I think what I was thinking of when I mentioned hearing leaks about Sunset Overdrive 2 was they're moving they're putting out a version of Sunset Overdrive 1 onto PC.
Oh.
I think that's what I was confusing that with.
I see. But I mean, when I was going through, I saw more recent ones saying like there's like a thing out for like a rating for Sunset Overdrive 2 and like there's smaller things. So it didn't, I think it just went as far back as last year, but I think there was more recent things. Not as telling as this though.
You know, this article makes an interesting point that well, it doesn't mention this, but this is also worth mentioning. Comic-Con and Gamescom are coming up, and those are also places where games get announced. Comic-Con maybe not so much, but certain companies do show things off like for the first time at Comic-Con. But a Gamescom is another decently sized conference, and games get announced there fairly often. You know, maybe like, you know, they threw their big stuff at E3 and the things that are closer to coming out, and maybe they'll tease something about these games at Gamescom.
Yeah.
And that's a stretch, but you know, it's possible.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I keep going back to the fact From Software even more so than Insomniac, but like not like From Software is like they're doing the Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, but they're also doing God, I don't remember
like a VR.
The VR like French game.
Yeah, and they're doing something else I think too. Like they're pretty booked. They're pretty full.
They're busy right now. So I don't know how they're gonna cram Bloodborne 2 in there somewhere as well. Like that's a lot of stuff to be working on. So I don't know. I think for the first time ever, like seeing a leak, I don't actually buy into this one. I don't know like why, like if it is fake, why Italy would just throw it out there, but it seems very like bizarre with the way the timing of it and what's going on with those two companies. It just doesn't fully add up to me. You know, they are both big companies. Maybe they're just like, these are games that are in pre-production right now or something. Like it's the possibility that they're happening is, you know, very likely. It's the timing thing of, I doubt you would go tell Amazon like, hey, we're making Bloodborne 2. It's going to be out in 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Just so you guys know, like they wouldn't do that.
No.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. But I'm sure. I guess maybe we'll find out something at Gamescom. Maybe not. But
I think so.
Yeah. Not much more to throw at that pie. Next up on the list, Tryon, yeah, I think it's Tryon. Tryon Worlds acquires Gazillion Entertainment assets. Tryon Worlds is the publisher behind a bunch of MMO games such as Rift,
Defiance is one of them.
Defiance, the TV show MMO, and they've done a couple other
Arcade,
things. But,
Trove,
Arcade,
Atlas Reactor.
yes,
They're big. They're all big games.
yeah.
Wait, what's their TV based one?
Defiance, I think.
Defiance, is it? Oh, you're right.
In-game
Yeah,
and
okay.
Yeah, it was linked into the TV show. But yeah, so they do a bunch of they do a lot of games, but they're kind of known a lot for their MMO stuff. And Gazillion Entertainment was a company making an MMO, specifically making the Marvel Heroes, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Marvel Heroes MMO. Kind of a sad story revolving around that. Back in last year actually, 2017, Disney pulled the plug on Gazillion Entertainment. Basically just, I don't know the details of it, but they said like, we don't want to share our partnership with you anymore, so you cannot you can no longer work on this game or have it exist, or we'll kill you or something. I don't know. It's Disney.
In a video game.
Yeah, we'll kill you in the video game, and then we'll kill you in real life because we're Disney and we can do whatever we want. But so this, within the week of Disney pulling the plug on them, Gazillion Entertainment went like, they shut down completely. Normally, like when games like run out of money, or when studios run out of money and stuff like that, like, hey, like we're shutting down, the servers will be up for the next couple months so you can enjoy the game, but after that, no more. Server shut down the week after this happened. Like they immediately ran out of money and just died off real quick. But I guess now, ever since then, they've been wandering around all sad and lonely, and Tryon has opened their door to them to take their assets, at least. I don't necessarily know what that entails.
It says it includes all of Gazillion's licenses, trademarks, patents, domains, and its game library.
So basically everything.
Yeah.
So they get all their stuff, but they're leaving the workers on the curb.
Yeah, and they can't
Probably.
continue Marvel Heroes because it was a Disney Corporation asset.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's gone forever. We're never getting that back. But so it's, I'm sure they had a lot of assets and stuff to use, and now Tryon has all of that to do with as they please. I honestly don't know what they're gonna do with this. I don't know what they've been up to besides keeping their 3 MMOs alive. Managing 1 is a lot of work. I don't understand how they're doing 3.
Yeah, they have a lot.
But I mean, I guess like the Tryon they're not the developers, to be fair, right?
I think they do develop, but they publish as well.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They're developers and publishers,
Yeah.
so they actually do make all these games. Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Like they're pretty, like I feel like they're unknown like to the public, but they're a decent sized publisher and developer.
Yeah, they definitely are. None of their games aren't bad by any means. They're just, they're not like super big either. They're just, they have their audience and it stays at that.
Yeah, I think Arcade was by far like they're kind of like public calling. I think that's when I first saw like what they were. So I think for a lot of people that was like a big game, just because it was also big in like Korea and other countries, and it kind of came here, and then everyone's like, oh, whoa, like this might be a big game.
To Theorycraft for a minute, I would love it if they used the Gazillion assets to make a superhero MMO.
That would be awesome.
Oh, all right.
That's kind of, it's not like, but What?
But they still need that licensing for those superheroes.
Oh no, I'm not talking Marvel. I'm just like your
Okay.
own universe.
All right. Let's see.
All right, let's let Brady talk.
Tryon.
Yeah, what do you got?
Tryon has investors. One of those investors happened to be the Time Warner Investment Group. So we could be opening ourselves up to some Warner Bros. Stuff because I'm pretty sure they happen to own some DC.
DC Heroes
IPs.
is an MMO that already exists, though.
I mean, I'm not saying
DC Universe.
Yeah, okay, that's true. But,
I get what you're saying.
But they could still be doing stuff on not necessarily MMO, even though that's what they're good at. But they could still, be using those IPs from Warner Brothers. So
Yeah,
just a thought,
right.
Yeah,
But I mean, they have like Comcast invest in them and some other things, so it's not like they have like a big majority or anything. But
Right. Well, either way, I would love to get another superhero MMO.
Mhm.
Really, the only two that exist, the only two like super relevant ones, are DC Universe Online and Champions Online, which are both fine. But
yeah, I mean, but like
they're old.
I was just gonna say like they could be updated.
They're very old. They're very outdated. They've fallen into the classic free-to-play MMO trap of super pay-to-win and microtransactions everywhere. If you want to level up, you need to give us $20, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a stretch. I honestly don't think any of that's going to happen. But
At least
it
not
would be
anytime
cool.
soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely not anytime soon. This is years in the future type theory craft. I mean, I think that's all there is to say. It's a business acquisition. There's only so much we can say about it.
And something real quick, Austin pointed this out before the podcast, but recently we've been having a lot of companies, picking up or other developers and stuff. And Austin, I'd never even thought of this, but he said that, it's because the fiscal quarter's ending here.
Or not
soon.
the quarter, the fiscal year.
Well, the quarter ended yesterday, at least. That fiscal year ends in like September, I think. So we have a while.
Yeah,
way,
it's
it's
sometime
coming up.
soon.
The fourth quarter is
August or September.
Yeah, 30 September it ends. So in a couple weeks here, it'll actually be good for us because we'll be getting a lot of public. The companies have to release public information, or they tell information to their shareholders, and that usually becomes public. So we'll get a lot of insider information about some developers and publishers here in the coming weeks.
So if you like the business stuff, then you're going to be loving the next few weeks because a lot of business news. But yeah, that's a good point. So we're going to get a lot of good stuff. Hopefully, I mean, hopefully it makes its way to the public.
It will.
Oh yeah. All right. Well then, with that, we'll move on. The next thing is I guess this is sort of a rumor more than it is
maybe
super confirmed. I don't know. It's somewhere in the middle. But Google is looking to get more into the gaming industry. This article in particular is saying Google is planning a game platform that could potentially challenge Xbox and PlayStation. I know they also do want to dip their toes into a streaming service. And
it says like they want a 3-pronged approach where they want a streaming platform, some sort of hardware, and something to bring game developers under the Google umbrella, which is essentially either buying out developers or just kind of like enticing them to come over to them.
Google should have coined it the gaming trident. You can use that, Google. That's all right. You can.
We'll let you have that one. You're welcome.
Yeah.
That's probably the way they'll do it. Just the whole start scooping up people to make games for them.
Yeah.
I would love it if I never in a million years see this happening, but I would love it if they made a game engine.
That would be really cool.
That's
our engine.
I think that's very.
Amazon has one.
Yeah, I think it's actually really likely. That's interesting you brought that up because I didn't think about that, but I do think it's likely.
You
think another thing that's likely is some kind of console, Possibly.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people are saying. Back in 2014, though, I don't know if you guys remember this, but they tried to make a console. They called it the Nexus Q,
Yeah,
and it was like a little ball.
Yeah.
And yeah, they like showed it off at a some kind of conference. I don't remember which conference it was. And they gave them out to people for the conference, and some people pre-ordered them, and they sent those out for free. And then they just scrapped the project and never gave it any support after like a couple months.
So there was actually something. I think the reason why they scrapped this though is there's something at the time similar to this. So this was Android based, so it would have been for an Android gaming thing, or just gaming on Android. So essentially like mobile games.
I think it was to kick off the Google Play stuff.
Yeah, but there was something. It was called it was like the OUO or something. Like it was another gaming platform exactly like that. But it was like
I know what you're talking about.
It was like a little like cube thing.
Yes.
The Ouya. OUYA. I don't know.
I knew it was a weird name. Like
it had a very silly name.
OUYA. Yeah, but this was, I think this came out around the shortly after or around the same time as that, and it just like shut them down because they it was pretty big at the time. Let's see, this was in 2012 and the Ouya was 2013. So yeah, just after.
Yeah, but, this thing died too, though.
Yeah, this died because it was
crash and burn.
It was an Android like gaming platform. Like it just wasn't practical. Like it's like you're just gonna play mobile games essentially on a big TV. It's like no one really wants to do that. But to get back on topic, I think something now is definitely more likely just because of how many assets Google has and how much of the hardware industry they're actually in and like doing really well in with not only their phones, but they make with like Chromebooks and not necessarily tablets anymore, but then they have like Nest and like even I think they own like Boston Dynamics, so they have a good amount of subsidiaries that could help them out in making something like that. And also, this article is written by Jason Schreier, which we've talked about previously. I know Will and I really like him, but he said that he heard from 5 people who have either been briefed on Google's plans or heard about them secondhand. So it could still be rumors, but 5 other people have confirmed them.
Yeah. And this is interesting. Talking specifically to the streaming service part of the platform. Also, I was going to preface this by saying I had no idea that NVIDIA did this, but he compares it to NVIDIA's GeForce Now, saying that the Google streaming service would offload the work of rendering the graphics to the computer elsewhere. So like a server does it all for you.
Yeah.
So you could have a cheap little janky computer and be playing like The Witcher 3 on max graphics.
Yeah. Like in a Chrome tab or something,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's insane. That's super cool. Apparently NVIDIA GeForce does that? I had no idea.
Well, think of it like the Steam box or whatever it's called. The Steam.
Oh yeah. They have like the NVIDIA shields and stuff. Use that kind of technology?
Well, the shield is like the shield. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, the shield and Steam's little thing, where it just streams it essentially and uses your computer, to do that.
Just basically, it just
it does the work for you.
Yeah,
projects it onto another device.
Yeah, you just use your computer and it does it and stream it.
That's really cool because that would assuming everything works exactly as they're saying and it works perfectly, that would make PC gaming way more accessible for people.
Yeah, definitely.
That could be. I feel like, oh man,
I think the thing is
that alone is enough to just like even like if they said like we have our console and this is what it does, like that's enough of a hook to like get people to like make the jump like from one console to another.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but don't you need both that streaming device and a PC to use it?
Yeah, that's
it's not like a remote
Steam. And the GeForce and the GeForce, the NVIDIA one. But the thing with Google is, so last week we talked about Microsoft Azure. Well, Google has the same exact thing as that called their Google Cloud, and it's like the Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and the Amazon Web Services. All three of those are cloud-based, services, and they're all competing essentially. Google has the cloud, they have the infrastructure, the hardware behind it, to essentially make streaming in your Chrome tab possible without having a PC, because they could offload that to servers they have somewhere else doing all the work.
Yeah,
I see.
And Google definitely has the money. Like if we're looking at like Nvidia or Steam or someone who's trying to do another streaming service, like Google, like it's like they pretty much have unlimited money, so they could say like, here's $300 million, like make a platform, and it's like they can make the best one out there, no problem. It's just a matter of like how could they make money off that, and what, like why would they do it besides just because.
The game industry, I mean, I might be wrong about this, but the game industry, I think, is like one of the most profitable industries right now. There's so much money there to be had. So I'm sure a lot of companies, like, Google is being open about it because they're probably close to making some big moves. But there's probably a lot of companies and corporations out there that are looking to see how they can get a slice of this pie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's exciting that, like, with each day, gaming becomes more and more of a popular and more of just like an accepted thing. I just the other day, I talked to a doctor about the video games he was playing while doing a checkup. It's like it's as normal as that. He's like, yeah, man, I play League of Legends and this and that.
Yeah,
it's cool that gaming is getting to this point. Now, like, the big empires like Google out there are making things like a Google console could be really cool, especially like considering this streaming thing incorporated into it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and Google, they're not, like, I wouldn't say they're new into the industry. Like they've had, I mean, they're obviously have YouTube and YouTube gaming's like, so it's really
big one.
Yeah, it's big, but it's still not comparable to Twitch yet. It's more of just like a backup of Twitch almost.
No, definitely. But the fact that they already have the infrastructure there is... Yeah,
exactly. And all they have to do is just put some more, manpower into it, and they could make it like Twitch. And that's a whole other conversation itself. But they, I mean, Google they invested in Niantic, which made Pokemon Go, which is, the biggest mobile game at one point, and then
still one of the biggest and most profitable mobile games out there.
Yeah, exactly. And they also, with Android. And the Google Play, the App Store is, super big, and mobile games on Android, they have Android. So, I mean, like, they know what they're doing, and I think it's just a matter of time and how much resources they want to put into it.
Definitely. It's very exciting. Yeah. I'm genuinely excited to see what comes from all this.
Yeah, me too. And I'm a Google fanboy, so.
Yeah. All right. Wow. We have we're at the 1 hour mark, so let's get to wrapping this all up. We'll move over into our closing bits. This day in games, where essentially we're going to tell you we find anything video game related that happened on this day at any point in time, and we tell you about it. So I'll start it off. On this day in games, July 1st, 2003, Warcraft 3's expansion, The Frozen Throne, came out. And this isn't necessarily a game I played, but Warcraft 3 is responsible for many, many games that exist today, particularly the entire MOBA genre.
Yeah, Dota.
Warcraft, Dota 2, kind of the first MOBA, which stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. That was the first of its kind, and that came from a Warcraft 3 mod. And from that came League of Legends, Smite, Heroes of the like all the MOBAs that we have now are all thanks to Warcraft 3. So it's a very significant and important game to the industry. So very cool. That came out today.
You want to go next, Austin?
Sure. So I know you talked about this last week, I think, Brady, but this day in games in 1999, Ape Escape came out in the UK. And that was one of my first PlayStation 2 games. I think it was PlayStation 2. It might have been PlayStation 1, actually.
I think it was on both. So
Okay. Well, I think I had it on PlayStation 1, and that was one of those games I could never finish. I think there was like 3 apes I had left, and I never could do it. So one of these days, I'm going to go back to that game and finish it.
I know that was me because
It
I
was
had it.
really difficult.
I had it for the PSP, and it was the same way. Like, it was just like never-ending game. It was always just play it, and it's so hard. But
It was like
I
a
remember
solid
it.
chunk of content in that
Yeah,
game.
definitely.
Funny enough, Ape Escape 2 came out today in 2003.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yep.
oh, okay.
Cool. I should have talked about that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Ape Escape 1 and 2, 2003 and 1999,
that's funny.
respectively. All right.
All right, so on this day in games, this is actually July 2nd, 2013. Left 4 Dead 2 came out. Now, I'm sure everyone knows Left 4 Dead, honestly. That was one of the first games I actually got on Steam. And I think it was the first games I kind of played, like, besides Minecraft, with, like, the GamersGrove, and, like, we used to make, like, we play Left 4 Dead 2 a lot. Yeah, and
that's true.
Some, like, I think that, but that was before I was part of you guys, but it's some of the first videos you guys uploaded to YouTube even.
Yeah.
But it's a really good game, and it laid like a foundation for like those types of games. And it was, you know, one of the only games developed by Valve too.
Valve.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and Turtle Rock.
Left 4 Dead is kind of the birth of zombie co-op shooters, or just like co-op shooters, honestly.
Yeah.
It's also the birthplace of my Steam alias, Mr. President.
Oh,
Yes. Good old days.
that.
Yeah.
Totally about that. Yeah, but fantastic game. It's like you get it for like $1. I think it like for a while it's free, so it's definitely recommend if you guys could get it, if you have some friends and get your hands on it.
And it still holds up very well to this day. Like, there's a very active modding community for it too. So like, there's always new things to play. Like, it's a dope game. But come on, Valve, Left 4 Dead 3.
Yeah, right.
Please.
Or Half-Life 3 or
Half-Life 3. I'd give
Portal
up on that
3.
one.
Yeah.
Just something. All right. Well, that covers our show for the day. Thank you all for tuning in. You can find us in all the usual places. I have been legally required to not list them all off. Yeah, but they're in our description. So if you want to find us in any of the many places we are, look in our description, because I'm legally not allowed to say it.
You should
All
lift
right.
that embargo, maybe
Maybe not.
someday.
We'll get there. We'll speak to our lawyers. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
What do you mean, finally?
My butt hurts from sitting quietly.
Stealth sitting.
Yeah, stealth sitting is very taxing on the butt.
Tactical stealth sitting.
Tactical sitting. Yeah.
Man, I feel like this whole episode was pretty much all business.
Pretty
It
much.
was complete. There wasn't any like just video
Yeah.
gamey stuff.
No.
Like outside, like
It was so
Bloodborne
boring.
What? Dude, this is like
I'm just
Really?
kidding.
I thought it was
I'm
a
just
good
kidding.
one.
I could have
I
kept
liked it.
talking.
I'm joking.
I
I
know.
like the business side of things. Nobody watched our stream though, so maybe
Yeah.
we do need to do video for the stream.
Yeah.
I think here's the thing: we can try it next week. To save you having to do so much work, Brady, like maybe don't even like put up the article shit, but just have like the template of the three of us like in our
Yeah.
boxes.
Yeah,
and we
I
just
think-
leave it on that the whole time.
Yeah, I think I am, because like I even stopped doing the article thing this time, because like I spend so much time like typing everything and whatever, and sometimes I miss out on the conversation.
Yeah, I'd at the end I'd rather like, you know, have you not have to worry about all that and be able to like participate in the
Yeah.
conversation, you know,
Yeah.
rather than stress you out and try to do both. So
Yeah.
next week we'll do like the face template and
Yeah.
just leave it there.
Yeah.
Do you automatically download or like record the video for YouTube, or is that like a separate thing?
Yeah, so I found a way that I could export it directly from Twitch to YouTube.
Okay.
But with
Very nice.
Twitch, they're a part of being a affiliate and partner. Twitch owns all rights to the video for 24 hours. So like last week we streamed on Tuesday night, so I couldn't upload it Wednesday anyways. I didn't think about that because they own that exclusivity for 24 hours.
Something I'm wondering about, we may want to do is, so the audio is consistent. Just because like the video is like, you basically have to edit the video audio too if you want to get like a clear, I don't know, like without the like 13 minutes in the front and like the 5 in the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So we might just want to do like, I don't know,
Just
throw
sort
the podcast audio on the video, or just not do the video.
Well, the
and
reason
podcast audio.
the reason why I don't do that though is because it usually never syncs up, and so you'd have to edit each track individually, then export it individually, then send it over my way individually. Then I'd have to sync everything up.
That's why I'm saying maybe we don't do video on YouTube. We just do the video on the stream.
Oh,
and then,
well, I mean,
and
it's
then
super
just, like-
easy. Like that's why I don't think it matters. Like,
Okay.
it's like if they want to listen to it on YouTube, then they could go do it. It's like you just have to listen to the beginning of the stream.
I know. It's
Otherwise,
just kinda
like,
it's just kind of like unprofessional.
No, I know, but okay, then maybe we could just start the stream like right before we're gonna
like
start.
right as we record.
I mean, sure. I don't really
That's fine.
see a problem in that.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
Fine.